What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 major reasons why you should be hyped for Shin Megami Tensei V now that I've put over 15 hours into the game and I'm starting to get into some of the expertly crafted things in this game. But a lot of you guys have had questions about it. It is a big JRPG. It is a game that hasn't had as much publicity as Persona, for example. So I'm going over 5 reasons why you should be hyped for this game, even if you're not a SMT player or you don't know much about the franchise. If you like RPGs and you like the Nintendo Switch, this is a game to look out for. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share the video if you can, click that notification bell to get my videos first. Let's go ahead and jump into number 5, and that is a big story with incredible cinematics and good voice acting, plus a coherent plot, plus options. I guess there's a lot. It's number 5, but I mentioned multiple different things here, but this game is a huge AAA, I guess you can call it that, RPG on the Nintendo Switch. It's a gripping story experience. It's not too much story from what I've played, but then again, it's not too little. It has the right mix of just being able to get through segments and plots with different demons, in addition to having those big set pieces with amazing cutscenes that you love to see in these type of RPGs. Great voice acting from what I've seen. There's going to be Japanese voice acting, plus also the English voice acting is good, plus the plot. It's straightforward, but then again, at the same time, it kind of takes twists and turns. I love what they're doing here. I like how they set it up. I like what they've started out with, and the plot and the points and the intrigue with the game is just there, with no spoilers and obviously no footage from my actual gameplay. You guys are going to get that later, but yes, it is a story for the ages so far from what I'm seeing in the early game, and I'm looking forward to just knowing more. I'm so intrigued and I want to keep playing. It has that addictive nature to the story, the progression of it. Now, at number 4, we have better for newcomers with multiple different difficulty options. So this is something that's a very hot button topic when it comes to video games. Should a game just be put into where the developers want you to play and what they've designed it for? The Dark Souls experience, Metroid Dread has recently came out. People talked about that, but there's nothing to fear here. The notoriously difficult SMT franchise has now gotten a lot easier because there's going to be multiple difficulty levels. Now, if you want that punishing kick your butt experience, you can get that with the hard difficulty. I'm playing it on there, and yes, it's difficult. You have normal as well. That's more finely tuned and balanced to maybe somebody who doesn't want to play that on hard. And then you also have the easy mode in the game, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's easy. You're not going to have as many critical hits come against you. You're not going to have as many party wiping type of stuff happen to you. It's going to do less damage. You're going to be okay. So this is definitely better for newcomers and anybody like to hop in and have fun whatever way you want to play the game. So I actually like that when developers offer the different difficulty levels. I think it's a good thing. I'm not crazy about demanding it for every single game, but I do think that it's good, especially with the game that you're trying to have a worldwide appeal. You're trying to get more in the line of the West. You're trying to get more people into this franchise. It's a very good thing to do because Shin Megami Tensei games have never sold incredibly well. I think the best-selling one is about 1 million units or something like that, maybe a bit less. This one seems like it's going to be above that based off of everything that I've played and seen so far here. So very good on that with number 4. Now moving on to number 3. Modern game design with open-ended areas. Now, this is something that I've talked about in my previous Shin Megami Tensei games, and it is no knock on Persona. It is no knock on what Atlas has done before. But this game in particular has a modern game design that I feel just flows a lot better and is more, I would just say, intrinsic and natural than Persona or other games. The way that you just kind of hop into the game when it comes to the open-ended areas, you have your areas to where you can buy stuff, you have your areas to where you can save your game, you can go through, and it's open-ended. There's monsters that run at you if you are weak or just about at their level, Or if you're too strong and they know that, they'll run away from you. You have huge monsters that are just there in terms of punishing foes that you can challenge them if you want, but you probably should wait till you're more leveled up. So it's the Xenoblade type of introduction, or the Xenoblade type of style, to where right at the beginning of the game, you have these big foes or you have these enemies running at you. I like that style of game more. It doesn't micromanage yourself. And that's something in terms of gameplay structure that Persona does that I don't love. There's so many breaks and cuts and days and dating and this day and afternoon and evening and only one time here and only you can go here to level up and only you can do this. This says to heck with all of that. Let's drop you in this open-ended world. Let's take what we do best when it comes to the design and the story. Let's put it all together with some beautiful art style and graphics, and let's let you have at it in the game design with side quests and with story pieces and with content and with leveling and with demon fusion and with so many things that makes the Mega 10 series and makes the Persona series, whatever the case is, great to play. So number 3, definitely modern game design with open-ended areas for you to run around and have fun with. Now at number 2, the best feeling gameplay in the Mega 10 series, Persona series, whatever you want to call that type of gameplay they do with it. The best feeling out of all of them. I think they take the best elements in terms of combat from Persona, from the Shin Megami Tensei. So Shin Megami Tensei, I would say 4, and then also with Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the fonts and the UI and how that translates battle information to you, the player, to where you can quickly say, okay, this is weak against this. This is what I should do here. I can do this here. This is how I pick this item. It's clean. It's easy to understand once you kind of know where everything is. I really love what they've done with the gameplay. The momentum system is back and better than ever. Exploit the weaknesses of your enemies, which, by the way, once you do it once, it'll be recorded so you'll know each time. Exploit those weaknesses, get an extra turn, demolish your foes in punishing fashion, and it feels the best that it's ever felt in this game. The demon fusion is revamped and ready to go. There's great surprises there. There's awesome stuff you can do as well. There's skills that you can learn from essences, so you get these essences from demons. You can use those and infuse them with your own character, the Nahobino. You have signature combat styles from Aogami, the guy who you fuse with, which we've seen multiple times. There's so many layers that once you just start peeling them back, it seems like it might be endless, but at the same time, it just flows and you just start building up your character one by one, leveling up and building the type of character that you want. You want to put that into magic, you want to put it into speed, you want to put it into power. You can build the type of character that you want to build and that you want to be with skills and magic and everything. So the gameplay just feels right. It just feels right and better than ever. And with the more open-end structure than pretty much any major Atlas game that we've played so far to date, it really just creates a feeling of gameplay with the open world, with some of the platforming you can do, with the running around, with the dashing everywhere. It just creates this euphoric feeling that this gameplay has really taken a step above what we've seen in previous Mega 10 games and previous Persona games. So I'm really feeling that the gameplay is one of the major reasons why you guys should check this out, especially for RPG fans. If you love the turn-based RPGs, if you're into Dragon Quest, if you're into some of these games, this is a game that you should check out when it comes to Shin Megami Tensei V. But last, but definitely not least, at number 1, and I think that this is overlooked, which I've talked about before in previous videos that I've done, and that is games specifically built for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of these things that you're going to see in Shin Megami Tensei V in terms of how it runs in the open world, where it runs pretty good, how it looks portably, how it runs portably, how the graphics are, how the presentation is, how everything is built specifically for the Nintendo Switch to take advantage of the system, what it does well when it comes to the art style, what it doesn't do well when it comes to some of the specs of the system, what it does portably and being able to play there, how they design things. Everything was carefully crafted for the Switch system. It feels like it has that love, tender care that you would see in a first party IP for Nintendo or for Microsoft or for Sony. That type of love and care and optimizing it for the platform that is on, it is something that is missed on the Nintendo Switch from a large AAA, if you want to call it that, standpoint. We've got a bunch of other games that are built that way and that are great, but there's very few new games that are built that and aren't ports when it comes to third-party games on the Nintendo Switch. Now, Nintendo does it, but we don't see it a lot for third-party. Very few. Dragon Quest XI-S is pretty much the only other major JRPG I can think of that was built for the Switch. Although that game was based off of what they did for the PlayStation 4, the game was not a port of the PlayStation 4 version. It was actually built specifically for the Nintendo Switch. And as you guys know, Dragon Quest XI-S is one of the best playing games, RPGs, on the Switch, if not the best playing one. I see the same type of similarities and qualities with Shin Megami Tensei V, but even better in some respects when it comes to the presentation and the graphics in the game and what they've done here. Now, whether it's better or not, that's based off of what type of gameplay you like more or what you like in your games. But right now, the quality and effort that I'm seeing with this is definitely akin to what Nintendo would do for a first-party IP or what we've seen for games specifically built, major games, built for the Nintendo Switch. So that is a major reason to pick it up. It is a game that is a Switch title through in and throughout. You're not going to get some of the weird things that you see in some of the Nintendo Switch ports, especially games that look nowhere near as good as Shin Megami Tensei V. So it's refreshing to get this type of game. So it's something that Atlus definitely deserves big kudos on, the development team there and Sega as well, for giving them the money and time to build something this incredible so far. So I'm 15 hours plus in. I'm still playing the game more. I'll probably have more reasons to get hyped, or I'll have more videos leading up to the release of Shin Megami Tensei V. So make sure you stay tuned on the channel. There should be more. But what do you guys think about this? What are your favorite reasons that I listed to get hyped for Shin Megami Tensei V? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.